What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's everyone doing? So before we start, let me do my funny little... Hope that wasn't loud. I had to press the little phantom power button on my mic. Anyways. Yeah, welcome in, Oshik. Chen, welcome in. How are you guys doing? Say, GT, welcome in. Abra. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we are... Believe it or not. I know that's crazy, but guess what? We're going to be working on Lured In again. It's crazy. Yeah, we're going to just get a little patch ready to go. It's not going to be a big content thing. There are a couple little like quality of life features we've worked on and stuff that we're going to include, but let's see. Hey, I haven't been home in a while. What's the new update about? It's just gonna, yeah, just be like a smaller, more bug fix oriented kind of thing. There's gonna be a couple quality of life things and a few rebalancing, kind of just getting things stable and ready to go for the demo, which is coming up really soon. The demo is going to be on the 18th. So the plan right now is we're going to do a tiny little update for the 11th. That's when we're going to post like a web build on itch just to kind of get some early content creation stuff going. And then on the 18th, that's when we post to Steam, the Steam demo. And that's the big one. Half-Life, not Half-Life today. I'm gonna be very busy with stuff, if I'm being honest, just this week and stuff, just because of the demo. So, you know, unfortunately, I have to lock in. But we'll definitely play Half-Life more. I have been reflecting on my time playing, and it was pretty fun. I do want to play more, so. But yeah. So, Junkbox, welcome in. How's it going? Anyways. Also, let me know if you can hear my fan. It's extremely loud and blowing right into my mic, so hopefully you guys don't. But yeah. My freaking hair. Okay. So we're gonna get started. Got a couple things I want to start off with. You have mango pudding again? Let's go. Epic. All is right with the universe once again. All right. Let's go into here. So, I want to do some things. We're going to do... First off, music. We're going to... My brother rebalanced all the music. We're also going to add in 2 new tracks. So that's what we're gonna do. So all these tracks we're gonna update. I do have to do this big mass WAV to OGG conversion, which is quite unfortunate, but it's okay. So we're gonna go select them all. I think it's in my downloads. I don't know if I can just... No. Hold on. I gotta extract all the audio. I am gonna go ahead and make a folder on my desktop. This is like all Lured In audio. It's probably a good idea. Just call it Lured In tracks. Might just put that into a different folder. We'll see. Yeah, I basically just went through and kind of normalized all the audio and stuff, so... Because some people had issues where, like, most of the tracks were kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden there'd be one that's, like, really loud, and it was just annoying. So now they should all be approximately the same volume. So we'll go throw all those in. Okay, now let's go convert these. I think there's 2 new ones that aren't in the game. We'll go find them. Figure out what's what. Lured In tracks. Grab them all. Boom. Now, We want to convert all these to OGGs. Unfortunately, we have to go through manually on every single one and change the quality. It's okay. Because otherwise, if we leave them as raw WAVs, that will increase the file size of the game by 300 megabytes, which is way too much. Maybe a lesser dev would just throw the WAVs in and not worry about it. But not me. We need to compress. The opposite of decompressing. I think this only does like 3 at a time. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. New music, yeah. It's gonna be pretty epic. So I think one of the new ones is, I think it's Sleet and Stepping Stones. I believe. We'll load them all into the game and check it out. Let me start downloading these two. Say the end. Welcome in. How's it going? Yeah, you can see these go from like 50 megabytes to 3, so it's a pretty big size difference. AAA Studio would totally just leave it uncompressed and not care about file size. So I'm the go. Let's freaking go. Thank you. Yeah, I want people to be able to easily download the game. It's like, I don't know why you would intentionally make your file size larger, you know? It's just like, it's just bad practice. It's not something that I have to try like super hard to do, you know? It's not like this is really time consuming or difficult for me to convert these to OGGs. Like, it's pretty easy. So I might as well save people all their time. Because if you think about it, like, if I'm having the file size of the game, like if we're going from like 1 gigabyte to less than 500 megabytes, that's saving like probably a pool of like hundreds and hundreds of hours of download time for everybody. Uh-oh. I can only do 10 conversions per day. Well, that sucks. Let's see if free convert is better. Convert all to GGs. Hopefully that's all default good quality stuff. Convert. I hope it's not a virus. Oh yeah, this website. I watched the YouTube video on the guy that made this. Yeah, honestly, I should just use this to be real instead. Yeah. How about we do that? Now, I don't know if it lets you do bulk. Like Aqua and 10 more, so I think we're okay. Then OGG. Audio format. Convert. And hopefully this works. FFmpeg? Yeah. I could use FFmpeg. It's probably a really easy way to just write a little script to convert stuff to OGGs, I'm sure. That's what I actually do for, I wrote a little script because I have to fix the WAVs I export from DaVinci sometimes. Well... I don't know why it's, oh, there we go. Oh, it did all of them. No? It did one. And also, that's a really big file size. Alright. Cool. This one also has 10 limits. Okay. Epic. We might have to set up a little FFmpeg script. Convert WAV to OGG. Let's look at some places. Free rip. sudo apt. So it just does this, ffmpeg my sound file to my sound file. Yeah, it's pretty easy. But that's only for one file. I want to just do like everything. Well, let's go see if we can write a little Python script, right? PyCharm. It's honestly really nice writing little Python scripts for stuff like this because it really helps automate everything. Like, for example, converting like all the files I export from Godot just into zips is really convenient. You know, just one click and it's done. This thing's actually used for converting JPEGs to blend files or some weird stuff, but you can do normal things. Yeah, it is cool, but yeah, the batch conversion stuff does not work. I thought they might have fixed it. It seemed for a minute like it was okay, and then it was not. So, I don't remember how I did my... Let me open that file again. Where is that file? It's like in DaVinci export. Waiting for it to load. This one. Scratch.py. Okay. All right, we're gonna try this out. So this is what I did before. I'm just remembering how I did it because it was a little while ago. Okay. I think we can basically do the same thing. I don't know how. Maybe we can just change the format down here on export to just OGG. I really don't know how it works. We can try though. I'm about to discombobulate my 3DS to replace the screens. Oh yeah, I'm modding it. Let's go. Yeah, Godspeed. So we're just gonna copy all this and then make a new script. I want a new Scratch file. Python. And we're gonna go save this. Not in DaVinci export. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna save it on my desktop right now. What was it? Lured in tracks. Right there. Just call it convert to OGG. All right. I don't know if this works. Can I just change the format to OGG? Like, is that going to work? And I have to manually define all this stuff because sometimes it gets a little broken. I don't know what these files, like their bit rates and stuff are by default. We can check. I don't know. Maybe. Bit rate. So it's that many kilobits per second. Or the sample rate. I'm not sure. Let's, how about we just try this and see what happens? This is going to make a new file, right? Audio export. This might actually delete the old files. How did I do this before? So it's looping through the folder, so checking everything that has a WAV. Well, since it's it's going to have a different name, I think it'll probably be okay. Let's give it a try. I don't think it worked. So let's open up command prompt so I can figure out what happened. Hey, Dr. Easybake, welcome in. How's it going? We're just getting a little Python script set up right now so that I can convert all these WAV files that I have for the music over into OGGs better. Because now that we have a bunch more tracks in the game, it's kind of becoming a problem because I can't... Okay, that just instantly dies, huh? I'm hitting like the daily limits for conversions now, so I'm trying to use FFmpeg instead. So it did run. Do I just need to refresh the folder? No. So what happened here? Oh, I'm exporting it as the same file path, aren't I? Because I'm getting file path with the folder and file name. Okay. So I don't want to do this instead. How do you replace? There's probably an easy way to do it, like Python replace file extension. So I think it is converting it, but it's just dying. Change file extension Python. There's always a really good resource, Geeks for Geeks. I've been using this for years, all throughout university and stuff. Yeah, there's a function called change extension. Oh, this is just it's defining it there. Okay. Well, let's just redefine it. I just want to re-choose what the format is. Python remove extension. I'm sure it's very easy. Well, I guess I could just call like split or just get rid of it, right? Remove suffix. All right. Fishing IRL when? Someday, eventually. There's not a lot of super great fishing spots around where I live. Yeah, it'd be crazy to live stream the fishing event, you know? That'd be pretty wild. Okay, so when I export this, I want to do file path dot remove suffix dot wav plus dot ogg. And I think that'll fix it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that doesn't work. Am I doing this function right? Self to path. So file path is going to be that. And then here I say remove suffix wav. Right, I get rid of the wav suffix. And then I add ogg. I think I'm doing it right. I mean, it doesn't look like I'm getting an exception. Maybe I am. Maybe I need to exit down here. Let's give that a try. No, so it is getting to the end. It's not running into an exception. I don't know why it's not working. I just didn't do anything in here. Let's get rid of all these other files again, because maybe I accidentally broke them by replacing them before. And I am modifying this file in here, right? Convert to OGG. Yeah. Let's go get them again. Trick for good fishing is going to a place in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it is very true. It's hard to get to those places, though. But one day it'd be fun to like go up into the mountains, because there's a lot of like mountain lakes and stuff. They are very hard to get to, though. Usually you have to hike like miles to get in there, so it's tricky. I really don't know what's going on. I probably can't convert this way then, maybe.
Discord.
Oh. How did my Discord just... The freak? My internet okay? Looks like it. Nothing good comes without a struggle. It's very true. Yeah, one of these days would be really fun, I think. I don't know if I'd be able to stream up there. Maybe if I get Starlink. Let's see. Yeah, this is not working. I thought this would. So this is iDub WAV to OGG. We'll find another area. So what are they doing? They open a thing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Does this look wrong to you guys? Like, so I set like the channels and all the sample rates and stuff, right? I decode the audio here, right? I'm loading it from file with a file path. This is just the folder plus the file name. And then it just doesn't work. Maybe my file path that I'm creating here is not actually working. I'm just gonna call this export path, right, is equal to that. That way I can go ahead and print out what it is. Give that a try. Yeah, I'm getting the right path, right? All right, I can't. Hold on. Did it not? Is it even running this script? I feel like it's like not. You know what I mean? Something's odd. Let me make sure I am still modifying the same file, because it might have accidentally like duplicated it. So it is this file. How come it's not printing anything? Am I crazy? So I call that path. Couldn't find that. Defaults to FFmpeg. It's fine. And then it just doesn't print the path. Something ain't right here. I don't know what's going on. So for file name and OS lister folder, and folder is just the current working directory. And then I say if it ends with WAV, I create the file path. Let's go ahead and print file path here. Like maybe it just isn't working. But if it didn't work, it should say that it like failed to fix it, and then it would stop. You'd think. Ooh. I don't know why it doesn't print. Why does it not print? Is print... It should be printing to just standard output. Oh. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. If a language doesn't appear in Steam's client language options, is there still a need to translate the Steam game descriptions? Not really. I might reuse those descriptions though, possibly like on itch or something, so I still have them in there, but for every language, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's pretty low priority. Yeah, the last thing is you have to translate for Scottish Gaelic. Yeah, you don't really have to worry about it. If it's just extra work and you don't want to bother with it, then no need to. I don't even know if I can put it in itch yet, so, you know, I don't want to say to everyone, I'm going to put all these on itch, and then realize that I can't actually do that. So, just use code from GitHub. I mean, I can, but I want to, like, understand Python better, you know? And the only way to do that is by doing it. But it is odd, right? I just don't know why it's not printing anything. Like, is there something that I'm missing about how Python works? Like, why would it not be printing out the things I'm saying? Let me also print out a thing over here, I guess, to see if it does anything. So that's printing. But I guess it's just not printing out anything in here. I don't really know why. So it's going to get file name. I'll go ahead and just... Maybe it's thinking that it's not ending with WAV for some reason. Okay, so clearly it's like, it's going through the files. And I think it's like, it's just not detecting WAV files. Which I don't know how. Because they clearly end with WAV, right? Am I crazy? .wav. Let me print again. See? What's going on? So file name dot lower. I don't really need to convert it to lower now that I realize, but and ends with. Maybe it's like the period. I guess I don't really need to check. No, because then it might be a file that's like not a WAV file. I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick else over here and print not WAV, you know, see if that does anything. Okay, so that's the problem that's happening. So I think otherwise this would work. It's just for some reason it's not detecting these files actually, which is really weird. I'm going to go ahead and print out file name because maybe it's like getting a different folder or something than it's supposed to. Whoa. What is going on here? That's not the right folder. Does it happen to be just the fact that I'm running it through command prompt instead of through here? What? Where is this folder? So I was already doing that. What is that letter? It's like the Russian letter. It's like it's running in System 32. I really thought this would work. I just want to get the folder that it's in, you know? Python get current folder. 15 years old, but it's probably okay. Right? This is what I thought. Get current working directory. So, hey, welcome in for Start Build Review. How's it going? I'm just getting a little script set up so that we can convert our WAV music into OGG files, just to compress them down smaller. For some reason, I'm trying to get, this was working before, where I could get current working directory, you know? But now it's not working, and I'm not entirely sure why. Script directory, OS path, dir name. I mean, maybe this is a better way to get it, so we're gonna try this instead. So we're going to change this. I also have to import system. Then we'll print it out. os.path.dir_name. os.path.absolute path. And then system.argument v must be like the file name or something like that, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see if this works really quick, and I'll go figure out why it works. Oh, there it goes. So, okay, so that's working now. Now it says the system cannot find the file specified, which is strange. Let's go ahead and print export path again. Just make sure that it's actually working. Failed to fix. Aqua.wav. Windows error 2. The system cannot find the file specified. I mean, it's definitely getting the path. Maybe OS path right here is wrong. Actually, yeah, why am I even doing it this way? I really should just say this is a folder plus file name, right? I'm going to print out file path, and we're going to see what that looks like. Oh, so that does not include a slash. And I think that needs to be a backslash for Windows. Oh, which means I need to do like a double backslash. And now it's not working again. But it did print it right here. So it's just desktop, blurred in tracks, aqua.ogg. And then it all dies again for some reason. Maybe audio export does not work how I think. Oh, this needs to be a local path? So maybe I want to change this instead of that to... Yeah. Instead of file path, file name. That could be what's going on here, maybe. No. Let's go look at what it did in here. I think it did create an OGG file, which is interesting. Also, this is 0 bytes though, so I think it like created the file, but it didn't actually convert it. Can't even run it, so. Let's see here. So I print out the file path right here. And that looks good. It's on my desktop. Blurred in tracks, aqua.wav. So it's getting the correct initial file. Right? And then I'm loading it from file path. Let me print out what file path is. Well, duh, I'm already printing it. So it is getting to this step where it tries to load the audio. I wish I knew like what line was causing this to crash, you know, I just don't know. Let's try some other print statements. Okay, so it's this line right here where I'm saying audio segment from file. Maybe I have to specify some other stuff in here because I noticed this is file name and not really file path. So maybe this doesn't work. And I'm importing audio segment. Let's go look at this. And it's from file. Right? So it's right there from file and then just the path. So why doesn't that work? I might have to do it as a local path, you know, so maybe just I say file name instead. And then now it says no such file or directory. Then this one says system cannot find file. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What did I even change? Because it was like working with the other one. Did I change that script? I mean, I didn't really. You know, it's just the same in here. I'm getting the folder. Unless the problem is that me getting it this way is changing things. That should be okay. Yeah, right, this one right here doesn't work. Expect when running Python code from a different directory. So theoretically that would actually work, but just for right now, testing it, it won't. I don't know why it doesn't work. Anyone have any ideas on what I'm doing wrong with the file paths here? So it's getting aqua wav, and then it is actually printing the other export path down here, aqua ogg. But then I'm gonna look up what is win error 2. So I have no idea. It could be just because I'm trying to run it through a command prompt or something. So we could go ahead, now that this is all like different, let's just try running it in here. Well, that just instantly like died. We'll get this figured out. System cannot find the file specified. I don't know. Let's see if there's an alternative way to convert files with FFmpeg with Python. Because maybe this just isn't really designed for this. Because there's like this, what, dir to OGG? Because that might be something I can just import and it might be a lot easier. Can I just straight up import this? Like, or do I have to like download it? I don't know if that works. Or do I have to say like from dir to OGG? Import. I have no idea. Don't know. I gotta install it, yeah. Screw that. Audio converter. See, I'm doing the same thing here where I'm getting the path right here, right? And then this is the destination path where I'm just getting that with the file. I'm, yeah, removing the extension and just adding OGG, right? And this is literally what I'm doing right here. So I just say audio segment from WAV. I'm doing from file. Is from WAV a thing? Because maybe that's what I need to do here. I mean, it doesn't like show that it's a thing, but I mean, that's what they're doing there. Unless it changed. From WAV. And then down here I do audio.export. Export path. OGG. Maybe I don't manually define the bitrate anymore. Like, possibly that's causing issues, maybe? I have no idea. Let's give it a try. No. It's probably not a real function. No, it is a function. How is it even different? Maybe it's because of all of this stuff where I'm setting. I don't see why that would cause a problem, but we'll get rid of it. So folder up there. It ends with WAV file path. And maybe I'll just make two right here at the beginning. So we got that one. And export path, right? Print file path and export path. I don't actually know if print S is a thing. Nope. It's not. I just want to see what those two are. So we got WAV and OGG. All right, seems good to me. I'm not really fixing this anymore. I'm gonna say, It's just perplexing to me. I don't know. WAV and OGG, and then the system cannot find the file specified. I don't know what's wrong. Let me stop exiting here, I guess, on every single failed file. It's gonna run through all these now and fail on H1. See, I think it's creating these files, but like they all have 0 bytes, so it's not actually converting anything. So I don't know entirely why. I mean, I'm literally doing like the right thing, right? Import OS and system from PyDub. I get audio segment. I'm getting the original path. I'm getting the destination path. And then song is audio segment dot from WAV. And export is destination path. Format is OGG. So that's literally my script. I mean, right? What is system argument 1? I presume that's just going to be like the name of the... Let's try it out. Oh. Oh, well, that's just going to be the first argument that I pass in, right? Yeah, I just look at the PyDub documentation, the way you use library looks right. Okay. Yeah, let me go look at that documentation. Yeah, right, so you just say, you can just say from file and specify that. I was doing that before, but yeah, like you can just say from WAV. You can do whatever you want with the audio. And then you save it. .export. With a new path. Missing dependencies. It's odd though, because like this works in my other script, right? So if I go over to this folder instead, this is where I do like, whenever I export out of DaVinci, it breaks everything. So I run this bat. And it doesn't ever like throw errors. Like this one always works for me. So I don't know, like maybe I do need to get the current working directory. The only thing I can think of is that it's like the format of the way that I'm doing the folders. Because like, let's see what happens if I do this now and I just run it in here. No, it just immediately crashes. So I don't think that's... Let's go ahead and CD into the location and then run it from there maybe. Just so I can test this easier. I don't have to worry about it like breaking. How do I show the files? This isn't Linux. It's fine. And then just run convert to ogg.py. I have to say Python. It's still doing the same thing. And it shows that it's the proper path. It's cafe wav, then cafe ogg. I don't know what file. Cannot find the file specified. Why? You know? It's weird. I don't know what that error is or how it's happening. Yeah, OS path dir name. Yeah, because that's what I was doing before, and like it was working. So I don't think that really changes anything. So I think that's okay. Say, Sakura, welcome in. We're going to be doing some, hopefully get a patch ready to go today. I'm just writing a little Python script to convert our WAV audio into OGGs. I was using like websites before to do it, but the problem is the websites have limits on how many you can convert a day, so it's really frustrating. So I just wanted to make a little script to automatically run through a folder and convert all these. but it just doesn't work for some reason. And I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I'm just running an exception here, but maybe like that's causing a problem somehow. Like all the scripts I see don't check for exceptions, so maybe I want to purposely get rid of my error checking or something. Let's give that a try. Okay, well now it's actually showing me the real error, so that's actually good. So what is this? Audio export. It's like a Windows thing. In line 963 in export. We're gonna look up this specifically for PyDub, I guess. Win error 2. I'll open up a couple things. So this is a little bit of a different thing. So yeah, you join the directory and name. I mean, that's, yeah, fine. You cannot use an absolute path unless your terminal is in that directory. Is that the problem? But why? Strange. I mean, I'm never gonna run it anywhere else outside of there, so I guess we can just do this. Well, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. And then in here, instead of getting folder plus the file name, I guess I'll just get the local one. And then when I export path will just be, yeah, the file path. See if that works. Because I am running this inside of the thing now. No, it's still doing the same thing. I don't get it. System cannot find. File not found. Is it like this is the file that's not being found, or what file is not being found? Does it have anything to do with my path at all? You know? I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with my version of PyDub or something. But isn't PyDub just included along with Python? Should I go ahead and update my Python? What's the newest Python? 3.16? I probably already have the manager, but... Well, doesn't this have like its own built-in PyCharm? Let's just install it. Yeah. App execution aliases. Pip. Alright. Py command, that's legacy. Is that part of my problem right now? Or something? It's gonna take 5 years for that to load. You need to restart your terminal to use it. Yeah, let's add that to my thing. Yeah, let's get the new one. Alright, hopefully this will maybe fix things or something, I don't know. Yeah, this has just been a very strange issue so far. I mean, I am on an older version of Python right now. Who knows? Looks like it's having trouble finding an executable. Maybe you moved it. I definitely did not move it. I mean, I'm running it through here. Like, that's the folder that it's in. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I moved FFmpeg anywhere. I can go ahead and reinstall FFmpeg also. Just to make sure that that's all normal. Just gonna get the easy one. Let's do this one or something, sure. FFmpeg master latest Windows. This guy. Apparently I already installed this file. There's a new update though. Oh god. I just want to install it. I don't want to have to go drag it into a folder. Hey Pete, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I thought that was an oh, that's just an executable. It's got to be an easier way to install this. It's taking a minute to install Python, huh? Like, what happens if I run this from here? Can I do that? No module named PyDub. Is it because the Python it's using inside of PyCharm does not have PyDub? I have no idea. Nice mustache. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a new Git update. Yeah, sure. Let's update. Say thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I mean, I was using PyDub before, so I must have it installed, you know. It's probably just because right now Python is reinstalling and it probably has it temporarily uninstalled. So we're just going to wait a minute. But I don't even know if PyCharm uses this, like, installation of Python, you know? I thought it had, like, its own internal version. I have no idea. That's unfortunate. Let's just see in the meantime if there's just like a easy file converter program I can download for free. Like music converter program. Free AC. Converts freely between OGVorbis, WAV. Sure. This file is probably safe. Let's just get it on the Microsoft Store. It'll be fine. So, hey, Adrian, welcome in. How's it going? Just getting into Python. How long does it take to get comfortable with it? Well, I think it just depends on how much you use it. The thing is I really don't do a lot of like just raw Python stuff, to be honest. And that's why I suck at it and don't know what I'm doing. But if you like actually spend a lot of time programming with Python, I think you would get really familiar with it pretty quickly. I imagine it would probably only take you maybe a month or something to get pretty decent at writing Python and understanding the functions and stuff. But I think it just really depends what you're writing with it, you know? Let's go find it. It said it installed, but I don't know if it actually did. Nope. Is this the real Microsoft Store? Yeah. Recommend Tenacity. I can check that one out. I just want something easy. Just Tenacity program. Oh yeah, this is like a whole audio editor. I just want something that's just like one click and I can batch convert into a file format, you know? Let's try this. Free AC. Free AC. All right, I know. And then we can just go to File, Add, Audio Files, select all our files, and then convert them. For now. I do want to get that Python script working because it is just very convenient, honestly, to be able to just click once and be done. But oh, I can't sort by type. Guess I'm doing this. Hope I haven't messed up the base WAVs. We'll see. All right, so these are all in. And then now we should be able to just go to processing, encode, og vorbis encoder, output folder. Oops, I didn't really want them to go there, but fine. It added numbers to them and stuff, which is not what I wanted. Options, settings, output files, file name pattern. Can I just do same as, yeah, file name. Let's try this again. Audio files, select these again. Hoping it'll retain the quality of these. We'll see. All right. I really don't want it to go there. I think it'll try and go to the starting place now, I think. We'll see. Start encoding with OGG. Yeah, so it'll go back into there now. Confirm. Let's try it out. Why did it change this folder? Like, stop. I don't want it to be in this mode. There we go. Okay, we got all the OGGs in here. They are significantly smaller now. Ah, it's fine. Python script is epic and all, but this program worked, so let's listen to it and see if it works. Make sure it sounds okay. I want to make sure it still does sound good. Oh god. You know. It still sounds totally fine. I think the quality is alright. It's got a 1500 bit rate. It's still stereo, 4800 kilobits. You mean you can't open Aqua? Oh, probably because I, like, modified it while I was listening or something. Seems fine to me, guys. Obviously, when we release the soundtrack, we're going to do it in, like, the full quality, you know? So, oops, wrong project. Hopefully updating Python will, you know, work, and then I can do my script again, but sounds like it might take a little bit. So we'll come back to that script another time. But it's okay. At least we tried. Hey, David Huffman on YouTube. Welcome in. How's it going? Every time I hear the start of this one, I think Runaway is going to play. Yeah. It would be honestly epic if I could use like copyrighted music like that, but if I do, I'll get in big trouble. So unfortunately, it's not in the cards. All right, let's go into music. We're just going to delete all of these now. How big are the file sizes on these in comparison? They're about the same, so I think that's a good sign. It's probably converted all properly. Then let's go back into here. Get our OGGs and drop them back in. And hopefully everything is fine in here. Yeah, we're good. All right, so the new ones that we have in here, I believe, are Sleet. Loud. Let me turn down desktop audio. It's still extremely loud for me. I'm in ribbon cable hells on save me. No. I feel it. Play the playtest. Awesome music. Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't my music, but I will send my regards. Yeah, the person that made the music is my brother. He's busy at school and stuff, so I don't know if he'll have time to continue making a bunch of new tracks all the time, but yeah, it's pretty epic though. So I think this is one of them, and then we got maybe Stepping Stones is new? Yeah, I think this one is new. I think the other ones were already in. But yeah, he went through and equalized all the volume on these, because like before Crosswinds was extremely loud in comparison to the other ones. Luckily it's not anymore. They're all equalized to, what is it, minus 14 lufs, which apparently is like loudness units. So. But these all sound pretty equal in volume now. All right, cool. So let's make sure we got all these in here. Aqua, Basque. I'm going to sort these alphabetically so I know I'm not missing them. Cafe. Why is this one complaining? El Jefe. Oh, right. I have to add a underscore. Grandma Simpson turned it up. Cafe, Crosswinds, Daydream, El Jefe, Illuminate. Yeah, so it's Sleet and Stepping Stones are the two new ones. So add in Sleet, Stepping Stones, that has to have an underscore. Technically it doesn't have to, but I just like to not have spaces in my file paths. All right, so we should be good to go. Let's go make sure that they can run in-game properly, and then that's one of the things checked off our list. I've got a couple things in here that I want to do, so let's go ahead and say added track, Sleet, tracks, Stepping Stones, normalize the volume of all music tracks. Just make sure I can play it. I think just generally the music is a little bit quieter now, which is good. I think honestly most of the time when people play music in games, it's always like quieter than the sound effects and stuff. So it's good, I think, to have it just naturally quieter than like the rest of the game. Because we go in here and like do stuff. I mean, it's still plenty loud. It's not like it's too quiet or anything, so I think we're okay. I can turn up the UI volume. Yeah, this feels like a pretty good like level. And that's at 100%. Obviously, you know, it won't actually be that loud. All right. Desktop audio back to normal. That's how you spell sleet, right? No, I think it's with two E's, isn't it? It is called sleet, though. Did he misspell sleet? How do you spell sleet? It is with two E's. Sleet. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, this is specifically, I think he actually meant the town of Sleet. And I think I asked him if that was a spelling mistake. I think the idea is that it's sort of like Sleet is like a small fishing town. I think. I'll have to ask him. Can't remember. All right. Now that that's all worked out, let's turn the music back on, guys. Sorry for my little foray into Python stuff, but what does a foray even mean? Like, I just use that word, but I don't even know. Like, how do you spell foray? Foray. A raid into enemy territory. A sudden or irregular invasion or attack for war spoils. A brief excursion. Okay. Yeah, I used it correctly, guys. It's okay. Just had to make sure. Let's close all this garbage now. Yeah, I'll figure out why that's... I'm thinking it's just like a weird Python version issue, why we weren't able to actually find the files or kept throwing that Windows error. Okay, so let's keep going through our list. So these are, I'm not going to do all of these right now. These are just like all the things I could think of that are potential things for this update. We're going to start like separating these out though, into what we're actually going to do and what's for later. So let's go ahead and say later. Achievement system will come later. We're not going to do that right now. Ascension auto collect donations, that's also going to be later. So thunderstorms, it's cool, but that's not going to be for right now. When you enter stream, you can do Twitch stream for A. Yeah, exactly. New price balancing. We're going to get into that too. That's just a bug I can fix. We can fix that. A lot of these are extremely easy for me to fix. Like, these are very minor things. This is going to be later on. I do want to do this, like some kind of system so we can make the fish that you catch earlier in the game more valuable. But maybe. All right. Also, puppy's moving around. That's not good right now. Okay, so this is our list. We can probably get like 10 of these done in like 1 minute because it's like stuff like this is like decrease font size. I just go into the font and make it slightly smaller and we're done. So, you know. So let's go do that. So there's been a couple issues that people have had with, if you go into the fishing region, like whenever you catch a fish and it pops up that little thing next to your head over here. Sometimes that can be a little bit funny. I don't like remember what I called that. It's probably like a fish catch something. Let's go look at the code. And I spawn in. Okay, that's when that happens, but it's not the same thing. Let's just check for preload. That's the wait text fish particle. So let's go into here. So this is what it looks like right now. I think we could decrease the font size of this a little bit because if you have a really large fish name, like largemouth bass, it does that, which looks bad. So first off, we're going to change the wrapping to word only because I don't really want it to randomly cut in the middle of a word because it just looks terrible. The next thing we're going to do is go into theme overrides and decrease the font size a bit, maybe down to like 28. Does look a little low res there, so maybe 24 is sharp. And I think that should still be plenty large for the font size. We can increase the width of this text node, honestly. Right, something like that instead. So pivot offset, let's actually set that to be centered on the bottom. That way it doesn't like clip into the fish. Right, somewhere like right around there. So as this text gets longer, it should go ahead and wrap up. Let's also make the size like much larger to 256. Now we go minus like 32 minus plus 16. That's a good amount right there. I don't know why that didn't wrap. Oh, it's because it was all one word. Okay. So hopefully this works. Does the word only wrap count or ignore hyphens? Good question. You can go ahead and try it. It looks like it accounts for hyphens. So if you put a hyphen, even though there's no space, it still like lets you wrap it. I guess it counts as a different word. I wonder also if you do a slash. Yeah. But if you have just text like this, then it doesn't wrap anymore. So I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Let's go ahead and actually put this in game and stuff just to make sure. Mouse is already set to ignore. But this should look a lot better, hopefully now. And it's not going to block the fish, and it'll be a little bit smaller. I think that's okay that the text is slightly smaller. I don't think it's going to cause a problem here. Ooh, now the game is really loud, huh? Let's go check it out. So if I catch a fish, because like this size of font is totally fine. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now something I actually want to do is dynamically change the position of that label text depending on the height of the sprite. So we're just going to grab fish data.sprite.get height, right? I think I can do that on a sprite. Let me make sure I can do that on a texture 2D. Okay, I have to do... I don't think I can just call... Okay, I can. So that's going to return the height, because if our fish is only like 4 pixels tall, I don't want the text to be 32 pixels above it. So now we can go ahead and say label.position.y is equal to label.size.y minus the height of the fish. And then minus like a little bit more, like an 8 pixel gap. And I feel like that should be at a pretty good amount there. Let's go try it. And the text is gone. Oops, I need to do minus label size.y. That would do it. So that puts it there. It's hard to tell if it actually changed. I think it did. Oh, but I'm already doing it in the middle of the fish, so I need to divide that by 2. I realize. And I don't need such a big gap above it. Let's give this a try. There we go. That's a pretty good height there. We can go try catching a larger fish now just to see what it looks like. So let's go to the ocean since there's some big guys there. And we're going to catch some guys. Let's go do this though. All right. Let's try it out. Whoa. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's really good right there. So, okay, we shouldn't have any more issues with it doing weird wrapping. Plus, we got a lot of room over here for the text to display, so even if there's an incredibly long word, I don't think it's going to have any problems. Like, if I had a Bulgarian out here, like something that was much longer, right? And our thing is full. Let's give this a try. Bash. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think it should be okay. All right, cool. I think we're good. So let's go ahead and say made it so, oops. Catching a fish. So the fish caught text that, or like made it so the caught fish name text wraps better without breaking the word in half. Also decreased the font size of the caught fish text and made it so the caught fish text will adjust its position depending on the fish sprite. That way you don't get it like overlapping the sprite and it still stays low enough to be readable for big fish and stuff like that. And small guys. Okay, one of the other things I kind of want to do here, I think, is make this last a tiny bit longer. Right now it's only 2 seconds, and I think sometimes it's just hard to react, you know, to catching a fish in only 2 seconds. So I want to give people just a little bit longer to read it and see what fish they actually caught. So I think increasing that to like 4 seconds would probably be a little bit better. We're going to see what it's like. Let's change to English. I don't need to bother with that. Yeah. I just like that a little bit better. And it fades out anyway. So like if you catch a fish, you know, you can just immediately start fishing again. It's not like you have to wait for that text to go away or something, you know? All right, so I can just, I mean, that was a bad example because my, my keep net was full. Hold on. So I catch a fish, and then I can just immediately start fishing again. You know? There's no, like, delay, so that should be plenty fine. Increase the time the caught fish pop-up is visible above the player's head. I can't type, guys. All right, so that's like 3 things already. So make so text as normal word wrap, done. Decrease font size, done. 2 things. This is a bug I think that we can fix really quick. Somebody spotted it. If I go ahead and open the game up. Whenever you click the button that's return all fish back to your inventory, the little like tank preview still shows some fish in there. That should be really easy to fix. We just got to go connect emit the signal whenever that happens that like tells the tank that the fish have been returned. So like this one, let's reset decorations. So if we add some fish in here, right? Well, that's good enough, right? Just 1. And then you can see I click return all fish. Ooh. Well, they stayed in there that time. It's a little strange. Oh, maybe it only happens on the second fish? Yeah, okay, that's what happens. So let's go into tank menu. Over into return all fish pressed, right? So we call remove all fish. And let's see what's going on here. So we say pop front, add fish. While fish objects. Queue free. I think I know why, and it's just because of the nature of this signal. And we actually need to call this every single time that we remove a fish. Right? Like that. Because it's whenever one fish has been removed from the tank, you know? So if we go ahead and check this now, it should be okay. All right, so boom. We go into here, return all fish, bang. We're good. Because let's see what connects to that. So tank fish removed. Right here. When it calls update fish. Yeah, so like if fish was added, then I add a fish, otherwise I remove the fish. So that fixes that. Pretty easy. Boom. Fix an issue where fish would remain inside of your tank when you click the return all fish button. Next. And some of these are sort of the harder things. This one's actually really easy. Different sound for like the hook nibbling than what we have now. So if we go listen to it, some people have said that the sounds of the fishing sometimes are too similar to each other. There's 2 like phases to the fishing, right? There's the initial like nibbling period where it's not a full bite, but it's just kind of like a fish is about to bite. And then there's the actual bite, which goes like a big, you know, crunch. You can see what it sounds like here. So those are the nibbles. And I think some people in their brains think that that's the sound of a bite. So I want to listen to some other games that do the same thing, honestly. Like, for example, I know that Animal Crossing does that, right? Nibble sound. Let's see if we can just find like a video of fishing. How to fish with a fishing rod.
Hey everyone, I'm going to talk about
Let's just get to when she actually does
that
some
it's
fishing.
on your nook, and you're going to be able to craft it with fonts. This could be part they're facing. You
I don't know if we can
position
actually
it-
hear the sounds in that one. Okay. Let's just see if there's like fishing gameplay or something. I was about to say I could open up my 3DS and go into Animal Crossing New Leaf to listen to it. But if I do that, then it means I'm gonna have to Isabella's gonna be screaming at me, and it's been 20 years since you've been here, and then the weed guy is gonna be there and he's like, there's weeds everywhere, it's been years, and then, you know. Not doing that right now. Hades 2 does it. We can check that out. I just want like a video of somebody fishing. Like, why is that so hard? All fishing scenes. Maybe this is what I want.
Twin lures odd.
Talking. Oh. Oh god, that was loud. Alright, let's see. Let's listen.
Poseidon can't help you here, little fish.
So they don't even really have a sound for it, from what I just saw there, which is interesting. The sound when you fail is really goofy.
Cartoon.
It's like boing.
Patience is a necessary skill in this pursuit.
Okay, it's like a tiny little splash, I think, but it's extremely quiet. It's like almost inaudible. Too early. So we could probably just change it to something kind of along those lines of like, instead of like the little boing, because I think some people think that sound in their head is like, oh, I got a bite, you know, it's time to reel. Now that one I think is okay with the big one maybe. But just those initial blubs we could make quieter. 'Cause that one goes boing, and it the splashes and it says go, you know. So I think it'll be okay. Alright, so I just want a tiny splash sound, I think. Like a very small splash. Maybe. It sounds like it's in someone's bathtub, though. I think it is. Okay, that's not a splash. Did I record my own? It should be an extremely quiet one. I mean, that one's better, but it's got some, like, wind and stuff in there. That's super echo. Ultra echo. It's like they're in a cave. What is... Okay. I mean, those are okay, but they sound like obviously like heavy, like rocks. That's inside of a bathtub. Bathtub. That is probably the best one so far. Maybe. Too much wind and noise. No. That one's okay. quick splash. That one's also kind of good. No. That one's too big. Maybe that one could work. Okay, well, we got a couple sounds here. Let's open up good old Audacity Alpha that likes to crash all the time. Even though it does crash, it's still, I do like it. I just hope they update it someday. Alright, what two sounds here do we want to use? We'll get like 3 different sounds, probably. That's dropping grapes into a cup of water. That's about the size of a bobber. That one's too, like, bathtubby. Let's see. I mean, that one's okay, but it's got, like, it's, like, cut too tight. So, honestly, I think that one and some of these ones are good. But yeah, hopefully this will make it just a little, like, less alarming when the initial, like, little splashes start. Because I think the big boing kind of sounds too much. So let's see what we got here. Cut it there. And then we got all the other guys. See which ones I like. Too long. Too long. That one's good. That one's also good. Too long. Too quiet. Too quiet. Okay, we got these 3. Let's get these trimmed up. I think those 3 will be some good variety, and we can do a little bit of pitch shifting and stuff. Hopefully. Put some fades on here. Fade out. Fade out. Fade out. Alright. Let's put them all on the same layer. Okay. Export time. So I'm going to call this Small Splash. And we could maybe even reuse these sounds other places too, right? Which is always good. Small Splash. I just called that Small Splash. I need to call it Small Splash 1. Small Splash 1. Small Splash 2. And Small Splash 3. Boom. Alright, let's go see what we got in here now. Make sure they're all exported properly. Looks good. They're not really normalized. That's okay. As long as they're all around like the same volume, that's the main thing that matters. They don't even have to be perfect. Alright, so now if we go back into fishing region. So let's just experiment and see what this sounds like. So it's a fish nibble. So the bite is like that. And I might even change that to also include more of a splash sound then. So that's the current nibble. Let's change this to be a small splash. We'll increase the volume maybe slightly, but I do want to keep it relatively silent. Let's go listen. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Right? And then it does the important sound when it actually goes down. So then we'll randomize between those 3 sounds. I do want to maybe add in like a louder splash into the main one. Oh my god. Okay, that's the Minecraft one. Sorry if that was too loud. Bathtub. No. Here we go again. Toilet splash. Water splash. No, we don't really need to add a sound into it. It's probably okay. Sounds weird when we try. Okay, let's add a new audio stream randomizer. I've been using this node a lot more, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot better than having to manually randomize these. They're a bit sus. Yeah. Just a little bit. All right, let's put those in. And then for random pitch semitones, I still don't know. Like, I don't have a good idea of like, I wish they use pitch scale still, because with these, it's like, what is a semitone? Like this, it's nice because I know like, okay, 2 times higher pitch. So that's like an octave. So it goes from like, to, So I know how much higher pitch it is. But like a semitone, how many semitones in an octave? There's 12. So if I want to do basically 0.5 is equivalent to 0.6 to 6 semitones. So if I wanted to do an audio pitch variation of like 0.25, then I'd want to do like 3 semitones. I think is how that would work. It's a little confusing. I don't know why they didn't just keep the regular, you know, float values, but what are you gonna do? I know it's technically more accurate to use semitones, but it's just weird. Because now there's like a weird mix of the two in the game, so it's like in the engine. Alright, let's go listen. Yeah, that's a lot better. And I want to keep the final bite one like relatively loud. Oh, I'm gonna turn off the music for a second so I can lock in. I think that's pretty good. I wonder if I should do like change the bite sound to be a little like more distinctive. Because that's what it is now. The like sound, the click sound is kind of good because it's like something's hooked on to the hook. But I want to make it like a little more like okay, that's the sus. How do I describe it? I do want some kind of rock, nasty splash. Oh god. Acid splash. Bathtub. There's one here that I liked. I wish I had kept it. Ugh. That's so low quality. No. Let's just do this. We're gonna sort by downloads most. Because sometimes it's better. Water click. Ew. Pouring water into a glass. Splash. Like, that one isn't actually too bad. That's a big splash. Like Poseidon's Kiss? Yeah, yeah. Oh, is that the one that we used? Yeah. No. That's way too big. I want like one that's just ever so slightly larger than the one we did already. It's hard though. Water splash. Too big. Oh my god. I gotta turn on my headphones, guys. That's like a wet, like, punch. No. That's the funny sound, but not that one. That's drums. That's more 5-meter dive. Well, that's gonna be a huge one. Those are all water jumps. Wilhelm splash. Okay. That's still too big. I don't know, we might just have to deal with it and not put the water sound, which is okay. Small water spill. Okay, not that one. No. 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 What up? No. I was just thinking of like, so I kind of established this like auditory signal to the player. Whenever there's a double ding, that means like there's something that you should pay attention to. And I think it's just a good thing to do because it's like if you hear something twice, you know that it's like alert, you know, there's a thing happening. So I kind of want to change, I think, the bite sound to kind of utilize that a little bit. Where instead of just going like, whoop, it goes like, it does it like twice or something. I just think it would be a little more clear, because then it would be more distinctive from the nibble sound. I tried to join the Discord last night, it just didn't for some reason. Interesting. Yeah, that's odd. I don't know why it wouldn't work before. But glad you're able to get in there. I have to go check that link then that I send in the chat. Maybe something's wrong with that now. Maybe we just take that sound, honestly, and just literally import it into Audacity and then just add another layer to it. I think that's all we really need to do. So let's go do that. I don't want to spend a million years on this, so we're just going to be quick. But I don't remember what I call it. I think it's fish bite. So we're just going to drag this in. Here's our sound. And then I want to add like a little like... I don't know, I would like to add a splash, like, right? But not like that splash. It's not the right splash that I want. It's frustrating. Like that one sounds like just like someone playing in their bathtubs. It's not what I want. Not that. Not that. That's too small. That's a wave. Those are bubbles. That's a watermelon in a bucket. Water puddle. No. Water splashes. Just more bathtub. It's funny because I can immediately tell when it's in a bathtub, just the sound it makes, like, it's very echoey and it's kind of like got a lot of like mid-tone. No. I might just go ahead and make my own splash sound at this point. So what we can do is go take the other splash sounds that we already have and merge them. I think it's fish catch is one of them, and also fish release. I don't know why it keeps asking me to play them again. I think Discord was down for some time yesterday. Yeah, I know that it was for a little bit, so that's probably what it was. What is it? It's like water. Do I have water in here? Small splash. I have sink hook. That's when you actually click and sync it. That one's fine. Splash. Yeah, that's the other splash I have. So I could maybe take that and like shorten it a lot, and that would probably work, right? So we could go, like we cut it right there, and shorten it significantly, and I think that might work okay. And now we just say effect, fade out. Well, if I actually selected it. Fade out, there we go. Then now if I stack those two sounds, maybe even have it like fade in possibly. I don't like this one. That one's ruining it. Yeah, I think that's better. I just want there to be layered with a little bit of sound. And then I want to like almost take this sound down here, and I want to speed it up. And I know there's a way to do this. Yeah, pitch and speed dialogue, and I want to double speed it. And I also want to change the pitch. So we're going to go up by 6 semitones. Something like that. That's kind of the vibe I want from this. Just for it to be a little bit more alertive to your brain. So. But yeah, is there a hard limit on the advertising upgrade? There's not. So you can just keep kind of upgrading it forever. Eventually it does get extremely expensive. I mean, technically there is actually a hard limit, because once you hit the 64-bit integer limit of money, the game doesn't let you buy anything anymore. Just because you can't compare values that are past that limit. But the 64-bit integer limit is really, really big. It is 9 quintillion or something like that, so nobody's ever going to get there. It's just kind of impossible right now, unless you cheat. But yeah. Godspeed. I wish you the best of luck getting there. And I'm also going to make this one just a little bit quieter. Is there just like a volume? I guess I can just change the track volume right here. Is that my microphone? Why is it using my mic? I guess maybe I don't want to make it quieter. Let's see. And then for this splash, I think I want to pitch it down just ever so slightly. Maybe like half an octave. Yeah. All right, I think this is going to make this sound a lot better. It's just like easier to hear. So we're going to call this Fish Bite 2. The improved version. 20,000 hours of playtesting later. I think it would actually be way more than that, funny enough. I think you would need to have the game open for, I think I calculated it one time, it was like thousands of years. Like, let's do a quick little calculation, why not? So what is the 64-bit integer limit? Let me go check. All right. 922333720368547758007. This is the integer limit. And let's say that you're making 1 billion per second, right? So that's 100 million, $1 billion per second. So that right there would be that many seconds. And let's go find out seconds in a year is a lot. 31 million seconds in a year. So now you divide that by 31536. So it'll take 292 years at $1 billion per second And I don't think anyone is even close to $1 billion a second right now. So good luck. It'll be pretty hard. But theoretically, one day it's possible. We'll see. If it ever does happen, I'll probably just like, I'll have a game over screen. I'll be like, hey, good work. You beat the game. You should go do something else now. Let's get the fish bite 2. Let's give these new sounds a try. I think this will make it just feel a lot better. Also, one thing I want to do really quick too now, since we're at it already doing all this stuff, we might as well. Come on. I want to make it whenever your bobber goes down into the water, it disappears. Because I think it just makes it look like, you know, like it's plunged into the water. Gotta play test, make sure the game works no matter the cost. Yeah, your entire lifetime and many generations after. It took 20 generations of individuals, but eventually it all paid off. I can confirm Lurden has a bug. Let's see. Also, let's turn the epic music back on. Alright, so whenever the bobber goes down, let's just go for bite. Or it's on nibble timeout here. So we play fish nibble, which is the... No, that's the regular nibble stuff. This is where we bite. I'm just going to say bite. And then I want to say, right, bobber dot self-modulate A is 0. And then in here I set it back to 1. Hopefully that works. Let's go see what it looks like. I might not actually make it invisible, but I think what I'll do is shade it to be like a dark blue. So it kind of looks like it's under the water, you know? We'll mess around. I also want to add another effect to this right here. When the nibble happens, I'd like there to be like a little wave of water that extends out. So that's almost what I want right there, where the bobber goes underwater. So I think what I'll do, instead of setting it necessarily all the way to 0, I think I'll just set it to like a semi-transparent, like maybe half. Now we should see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good there. And I'll also make it darker, like kind of tinted toward like a dark blue. So I'll say bobber dot... Let's just do this then. Yeah, this will be fine. Bobber dot self modulate is equal to color 0x that. And can I modify the color, please? I have to do this. And let's actually just do the transparency in here, right? And get rid of that. And then up here, we just set self-modulate back to color.white. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, yeah. That's much better. It just, like, to me as a player, I look at that and I'm like, oh, yeah, the bobber's underwater. It's time. Before, it was like, it's a little harder to tell because the bobber would look like it's still sort of above the water. But I think this will be good now. I am going to make this a little less dark. I'm thinking something maybe more like this blue instead. Can I paste in my value, please? Okay, not really. Let's do that. Let's try that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Kids, your ancestor pests think that down for generations. Never turn off lured in. Yeah. Crazy. Now that I think about it, it actually is extremely easy to test that scenario. Because what you could do is just set your computer clock to 200 years in the future. And then when you go back into the game, it's going to think that you've been offline for 200 years. Although the only thing is there is an offline time limit. So you could set up like an auto hotkey script or something where it keeps like sets your clock, opens the game, closes it, sets your clock, opens, you know. But that's too much work. Now, of course, if you modded the game, it would be really easy. But that's boring. It's not real. Let's see. All right, next thing that I want to do. I'm spending a lot of time on the little effects for this because, you know, this is like a really important part of the game is watching your bobber go up and down. So to me, I think it's worth it. I'm going to go ahead and just make a sprite here. And we have that like little water splash that we use for the rain effect. I really can't remember what I call it. I think it's particle. Bubble. Money. Dust. Maybe I called it something about rain. Particle. Ascension. Let's go look at the actual rain. That should be inside a fishing region, which we're already in here. Then raindrops. Yeah, what is this sprite? Oh, I haven't actually saved it. Oh. I can't, like, get it. Oh, no, it is here. Okay, never mind. I'm just stupid. All right, so back over here now on the bobber, I want to add this here. And I might actually do this just as a particle emitter now that I think about it, instead of like this. Because I don't want the particle to move along with the bobber. So we're going to call this like wave. Then get the effect water splash. Okay, is it gonna do this again? What? Where did it go? Am I crazy? All right, we're just gonna save this again because I can't take it anymore. A new compressed texture. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. There's no effect. Ooh. God dang it. Let's just go get the file again from Starground, because I'm like pretty sure that's where it's coming from. Where is it? Sprites. I think I actually kind of want to redo it a little bit too, now that I think about it. Effect water ring. Because right now it's very like top-down perspective, and it works okay, but I think if I gave it a tiny bit of like tilt, it would just fit with the game better, I think. So literally all I'm going to do for that is just kind of crush it vertically, right? Like this. Just like that. And then kind of fix it up. We'll see what this looks like instead. Oops, I didn't crop it properly. Then I think some of these like outer, I'm gonna make the whole outer ring kind of semi-transparent. Because I think otherwise it's just too much. Sort of like that. And I might make the center also white. Like that. So now let's call this, well, it is a splash, and it's going to kind of come out from the center, so let's get rid of that. Let's go ahead and resave this. Still in ribbon cable? Hell yeah. What are you, what ribbon cable, like, what are you working on? I know, like, either a small mobile device, probably, or a very old computer. Would be my guess. Like, phones always have ribbon cables and stuff. Yeah, effect water ring. Save that. Now delete that sprite. Yes, delete it. Oh, your 3DS. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I forgot. Okay, so gravity, set that to 0. And then for scale, I want this to, you know, go from 0 to 1 over its lifespan like that. And the maximum scale will be pretty big, right? Something like maybe even 4, because it's going to start fading out. Like by the time it gets to that scale of 4, it'll be basically invisible. So then we go in here, right? Set it to white, something like that. For ordering, I want this to be behind everything, so -1. And I think that'll look nice. It'll just look like a little disturbance on the water surface, I think. Now that's too much there, so let's set that to 3. Let's set it to 1 shot. Lifespan could probably be maybe 2 seconds. I think that could look nice. And in terms of the scaling here, I think I want this to go up a little faster initially, right? Kind of like that. Okay, it's set to 1 shot. Hopefully this all works. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So now whenever this goes down at all, we're going to say wave dot emitting is true. Let's see what happens. It's a 3DS XL too. Yeah, that's the one that I've got. Yeah, Ace modded his. For anyone that doesn't know who Ace is, he's part of the Big Boy Games team. But yeah, he has a modded DS. It's pretty funny. He's got it so like when you boot it up, it like shows the Tree of Wisdom and stuff, and it's like, whoa. Okay, so that looks terrible. It's getting too large, I think. Also, let's go ahead and for the raindrops now, replace this one with the new effect. And I kind of want to see what it looks like now whenever it rains. Hopefully the perspective should be a little bit better now. But that's why I want to test it. Yeah, my boy soft modded and stuff. I just need to swap the top panel because of the flickering issues. Yeah. Let's do weather li dot rainy. Oh. We didn't make it so it doesn't rotate the sprites around anymore. So let's do angle and always keep it at 0. So yeah, that definitely does look better with the perspective a little bit now, I think. Okay, so let's stop the rain. Let's check this out. That's pretty good. Although it didn't do it there for some reason. I think it's because since it is a one-shot particle, I do need to actually like restart it every time that I emit it. So let's go do that. I think I need to say wave.restart. Let's see what that looks like now. Yeah, that's better. And I don't really like how it's like a smooth slope, right? I want to keep this linear, I think. So to do that, we can just grab these and set it to, have 2 nodes there. 45 degrees. Like that. So now that's just going to go up at a constant scale. And then the next thing that we can do is same for the color ramp. I kind of want this to go a little bit like faster. So I might set this to... I don't know if there's a way for me to control the speed of the color change. Well, it should be fine now that the scaling is set to linear, so... Okay. Yeah, I think this will work. Alright, it's a very small effect, but I just think it looks cool and epic, so yeah, we're gonna do it. Right, so now when the bobber goes down, it just does a little wave in the water. I really would like it to scale a little bit faster. Honestly, maybe we start it up at scale 0.5, and then we do a tiny little bit of a fade in. And that way it can kind of like appear, right, like this, where it's like... So 0.5 is a little bit large on the scale, but maybe like 0.25. Yeah, so it just like immediately appears instead of there being like a delay for when it shows up. I think that'll be a little bit better. And we can fade it in even a little bit more. Yeah. Let's give this a try. And yeah, swap the upper LCD. I hate working on small technology like that. It's so annoying. But man, I definitely miss working on old devices though. Like the new like iPads and phones and stuff, trying to make repairs on those things are... It's just a nightmare. Honestly. It's so hard. I really miss when the phones just had some screws at the bottom and you can literally just unscrew it and go in and like do stuff. But nowadays it's like, ugh, just the worst. Yeah, so this looks pretty good here. Might even make it so it doesn't like get full transparency. So at its peak, maybe only like a little bit transparency. Just so it's not so distracting. It's supposed to be a pretty minor effect, right? And the big effect is the one where it goes fully down to splash. The water splashes out like that. Now it's maybe, honestly, I could probably improve that one a little bit too now. Now that I just know better, you know? Like, it's a little silly looking. We can get like one of our little water particles that we've done, you know? There's the waterfall blob. There's also like the dust particle. I know it isn't actually water, but I think it could work better for this. It's a little weird though. Let's see what particles we have. I think I'll do one that's just a little more misshapen, more of a blobby shape. Do like a 4x4. Yeah, we could just do a circle. But we could do something more like... I don't know, how do we want to do this? We could do like that. I think I'll have to anti-alias to make it look how I want. Something like this, and then we can go like... No. I just want it to look a little asymmetrical like that. I think could look good. Truth Bomb had the amazing opportunity to take apart a PS1 earlier today. Oh, let's go. It's so amazing. Like, you can just open it up with your average Phillips screwdriver. Yeah, I know. It's so nice. It's so sad how, like, companies put so much effort into making things unrepairable now, you know? Oh god. Yeah, I do miss being able to just grab a screwdriver, open it, do stuff, and then close it back up. It's so easy. I think just generally, though, larger devices tend to allow for that kind of stuff. Like, even, like, the new PS5 really isn't that hard to open still. And then maybe that's just, like, a Sony thing, you know? So it's possible. But I think generally newer devices tend to be more tamper resistant. Alright, so that's what that water looks like. And I don't know if we need to even do... Like, I think we just keep it white. Like this. So I think maybe we get rid of the color ramp. And just stick with white. And then now for the scaling, we want to decrease the scale that it is, right? So kind of like that. And then for particle flags, I want to do a line Y. And what we can do potentially is for the initial ramp, instead of just doing colors, we'll do like a gradient of transparency. So some stuff will be transparent like this. I think that might look like a more realistic splash. And I think I'm going to decrease the gravity a little bit. Maybe a little bit more than that, but like I want it to have some more air time. We'll give that a try. Let's see what it looks like. I probably have to like restart the game. That looks like we're actually okay. I think it just looks a little bit more like an actual water splash. We could maybe mix in like a tiny bit of a light blue. But I think before when I had like the full blue color, there's kind of no point because it just blends in with everything else anyways, so... We'll have the more transparent sections like this be the blue color, so then we'll go down to like 150. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know if it's actually applying the color, so let's restart. And also it's hard to tell when it's nighttime. So yeah, we have ads going on, my apologies. New tech is just designed to explode in your hands in a year, and then you either take it back to them so they can fix it for $1 trillion, or you buy a new one for $1 trillion. Yeah, it is very true. Sony's always been good about repair. Yeah, I do really appreciate that they have the ability to like install your own SSD and stuff on the PS5 because, you know, it's just a good design. I think it's always so stupid when like companies decide to charge an insane amount of money to get storage, because it's just like, why? So I'm glad that Sony doesn't do that. Maybe I should look at a quick image of a splash, you know? I mean, I know that it's like a dynamic process when something goes into the water, because it goes down through the water, and then the water separates, and then goes back up and spits out. So I'm just kind of emulating it. But let's look. Like a real water splash. Okay, thank you. Like that one does like a column, of course. Right, like that's a way cooler water splash, but... So basically the water sort of shoots up and goes out. And it doesn't even really have to like go back into the, like back down. And that's the other thing that's a little tricky to do is like, I don't really want the water to come directly up from the splash. I think maybe possibly my, there's gotta be a way for me to do this, I feel like. Let's turn off one shot for a minute so I can just keep this playing. So it does go up. Maybe instead of the emission shape, instead of a point, we can actually do sphere surface. And just give it a tiny bit of a radius so it kind of goes around the bobber like that. I think that's better. And then for the spread, we could maybe... I want to see what it looks like if we lowered the spread. I think that's maybe a little bit better, like in between like 30 degrees. And then gravity, I think we decrease a little bit more. We decrease the maximum velocity to maybe like 125, just so it doesn't go out as far. And I feel like the time is like a little bit too fast, maybe 0.75 on the lifetime, which means that we need to lower everything. So like a little bit lower speed and a little bit lower gravity. So like that's better. And then I think actually as we go over throughout time, I want the particles to shrink. Sort of like that. And not like fully, maybe sort of like that. Gravity. They tend to go a little too far, so let's lower gravity a little bit more. And then let's lower the maximum speed ever so slightly more. And maybe for the color, instead of just immediately being visible, I think I'm going to make it like fade in. Which sort of makes it look like the water's like coming out of the water, you know? The splash. And I think that's already a lot better there. But there's probably still more things we can do, because we have like tangential acceleration and stuff like that that we can mess with. There's also damping, which I'm trying to like figure out. I guess that's it'll continue to slow down the speed over time. We've got radial acceleration, which the further out it goes from the thing, the more faster it gets. Right, like that. That does actually help a lot for a splash like this. Obviously, that's a bit too crazy of a splash, but... I thought the PS2 was kind of a hellish nightmare to, like, just let me put my own storage junk in there for real, yeah. I feel it. This is why I've always liked computers, again. Just because you don't have to deal with that stuff. Like, a computer is designed to be opened and changed, you know? Computers are not locked down like consoles and phones are and stuff, right? That's orbital velocity. I don't want any of that. Angular velocity is... it's hard to tell. I think that might only be for things with like where I'm changing the angle over time. So I don't really want that. A little bit of radial acceleration does kind of help. But I've got to be sort of careful with it, because otherwise it can start to look a little odd if I'm not. Right? So I can go up to 13, maybe even like lower the maximum initial speed, but then it just starts to look kind of stupid. So I don't know if we really need radial acceleration. But something like that I think could be good. And maybe let's decrease or increase the minimum. So like, oh god, not that many. The 50. There we go. Alright, that's good enough. I got plenty of other things I need to work on, so I'm not going to spend a million years on a splash particle, but I think it should make everything a tiny bit better. Let's also change this back into one shot. I'm pretty sure it was one shot. Yeah. And let's go mark all these changes down now. So we did different sounds for hook nibbling. Change the sound for hook, nibbling, and biting. Change the bobber splash particles. Also added a wave particle whenever the bobber goes down. Made it so the bobber turns blue when going into the water. Let's go see if all these changes actually paid off. I think it's better. I could potentially have the particles go up a little bit more. But it's really easy to change. I can just go into the velocity and just increase it, you know? Like that. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. I think I'm happy with that. It's also going to do the same particle when it lands like that, so... Also, something that's always been a little weird to me is it lands down in the position and then it goes up. I kind of want it to, like, go to the position where it's going to go at the top and then go down, you know what I mean? I want to see if that's just something I can change really quick, because it's always been like one of those weird little quirks with the casting. It feels odd. I just want to fix all these things, because this is going to be really important to make this feel good. So it's over where I'm doing the bobber position. So that's when I'm reeling. That one is fine. It is when I first cast. So it's going to be right here. I'm getting it to the cast point plus 8. So I want to tween this not to that. See, and then I'm tweening it to... Okay, so I know what I need to do. So I'm going to set this to just the initial cast point. And then what I want to do is say after all that stuff happens, right? Bobber tween, dot tween callback. Function bobber global position plus vector 2 0 8. Then it's gonna wobble back up, hopefully. I don't know why it's an error. Standalone expression. Oh, plus equals. Duh. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's a little janky since it, like, snapped really fast. But I think I'm on the right track where I just needed to tween down to that position instead. So here, instead of immediately setting it plus 8 down, I want to do another tween property of the bobber global position, and I want this to ease down to cast point plus vector 2 0 8 over the course of like 0.1 seconds. So we will still do ease out, but now I'm going to say right here, ease out. And then this one I actually want ease in out, I think, for the wobble back. Let's see. So that one is way too long. What? It's 3 seconds? Okay, so I don't want it to ease in. I think I just want it to ease out. Let's give that a try. I accidentally caught a fish. Did not want to. Yeah, that's what I want. So now look at that. So it goes to the top and then it like dunks under the water, you know? Boom, boom. Yeah. It just feels better. It feels like it's actually like floating on the water, I think. Then I could even make it like turn blue for a second when it first goes under. Right? Yeah. Which I'm not going to do right now because that would require me to like... Oh, should I? Should I do it? I guess when I reel back in, I'll make sure that the bobber is set to its normal color again, and then it'll be fine. It'll be okay. So I just want to say bobber self-modulate. Go to the reel function. Set it back to white. And then back to spring or whatever it was. Ease out. Right here. So as soon as this tween starts, I want to say bobber tween, a tween callback. set it to, you know, the other color. And then when it starts its elastic over here, that's when I set it back. So bobber dot between callback function. Oh god. And this is what I want to do. So this one goes back into color.white. And this one goes over to the underwater color, which I'm going to go save somewhere else. So bobber underwater color. Then I can reference it wherever I want. Let's go function down here. All right, almost done, guys. And there's a couple more things that we're going to start working on. We got about an hour before I have to head out. So hopefully we can get this ready. Okay, let's look at this. It's just funny that it immediately crashes, you know? It's like... All right, let's fix that reference. All right, check it out. Why is it dying? It still says a bobber is null, apparently. I don't know how. Self-modulate. Is it self-modulate or is it modulate self? Pretty sure it was self-modulate, yeah. Oh, it's because this value doesn't exist, the color variable. I need to restart the game. All right. I like the effect on the customers when you drag them over a fish tank decoration, they explode in pixels. Ah, yeah. It's actually pretty easy the way I set that up. It's just a particle emitter. And I essentially like keep track of the different colors of the customers. So like we've got like the skin color and the hair color and the shirt and everything. And I just kind of, I create this initial color ramp for the particle emitter so that it just explodes a bunch of pixels into the color of the customers. It works out pretty well. Like he's got like a red shirt and blue pants, so when I drag him over here, you can see a lot of those colors in the particles. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. It doesn't seem to be changing the color though. So I don't know why. Bobber underwater color. Should be working. And this isn't set to parallel. So it should be working. I guess it is only for 0.1 seconds. So... I could just move it down to here just to see if it changes the behavior. Yeah, but then it's like way too long, so... You'd think it would work. It would go right up until the thing, but... I mean, it should be after that, so it calls that for 0.1 seconds when it moves it down. Okay, you can see it. It's just like for a split second it goes dark. But I want it to be a little bit longer than that, so... How are we going to do that? Completely forgot about the particle system. I just hand drew a click effect on my little practice project. Yeah. Particles are really good. You should definitely utilize those. Especially GPU particles. They run really fast, so you can do like some really cool stuff with them. So I need this to be visible for just ever so slightly longer. Basically, I want to say like bobber tween dot... Like not finished, but like tween interval. I want to set like 1 second. But then the problem is I need to make this parallel right after, right? So I think what I'll do then is this. I'll say chain on this. Tween property. And then now I can control how long that's visible for, and then say right after here, bobber tween set parallel true. We'll see if that works. All right, let's give it a try. So that waited the second for that to happen until this happened. So I don't want to chain this one. But I do want to chain this one. And let's see if that works. Okay, but that makes it so the next one in line doesn't go until that one's done. Even though I thought it should have just gone right away. Maybe I want to go ahead and do this one after that. So I put the 1 second down there. So that one starts immediately, and then I call chain. Let's try that. Okay, now it just didn't even run anything. So let's get rid of all that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be an easy way for me to time this. It's a little bit tricky with a tween. Tweens are really convenient. I like usually animating this stuff in code, but occasionally there can be cases like this where it's just a tiny bit complicated to time this stuff. I could just say get tree dot create timer, you know, then thank you for the hydrate. And set like 0.5 seconds and then say timeout. Dot connect to another lambda function inside the lambda function, but it does get a little bit messy. But now you can see what that would look like if I go ahead and cast again, right? So it goes, and it seems like it didn't even work. Oh, it did work there, you can see. So I mean, it does work, but the problem is if like somebody immediately reels back in, I think it could potentially cause a problem here. Also, there is still some weird stuff that happens here, like when you can see the particles still emitting. You see what's going on there? I think it's because I'm making the bobber invisible, and then it hides all of the particles from the bobber. And whenever a particle emitter is invisible, it stops working. I was having this issue before. So I think instead of making the bobber visible, I actually just need to set its modulate to 0 to make it transparent. So we're probably going to make that change also right here. But I guess this mostly works for the color. I thought it would have like screwed it up, but it seems like it doesn't actually do it. So now instead of saying bobber.visible is false, I don't know where we set all that stuff. It seems like it's only a couple places. So it's here on ready. We initially set it to be invisible. Now instead of that, I want to say modulate.a is 0. And then that one, what is this? Hot bobber, that's a different one. So this is whenever I cast, I make it visible. Now instead here, I want to say modulate.a is equal to 1. This could possibly cause issues. Oh, and then here I also want to say bobber.modulate.a is 0 again. Let's see what happens. So I have to restart. So no visible bobber. Bobber is visible. And bobber is invisible. So it seems okay. Oh, but you can see the weight text keeps appearing over here for some reason. Why is it doing that? So whenever I cast it, it's immediately visible again. Which is really odd. I don't know why it's doing that. I guess it's because whenever I do cast it, I tell the wait text to restart. So maybe I don't want to do that. Because now that I'm not setting visibility anymore, it doesn't actually matter. Because if I like reel this back in and it's showing weight here, right? It'll just keep going and now it's not going to cause issues anymore. So I guess it's actually better that way. Yeah, then you can also see the splash particles now. Like before, if you reeled in and stuff, it would kind of break. Also, a change I want to make now is I want to change the speed of how long it takes to cast your rod depending on the distance you're casting. Because if you cast like really close to you, it takes the same time as it would if you cast at the end of the pond, which feels really odd. Because in real life, if you're casting really far, it takes a minute for the bobber to reach the water. So I want to make it so if you cast far out, that takes way longer. And if you cast close to shore, that is way faster. I think it just feels better, in my opinion. Feels more real. So hopefully we don't have any issues with the bobber visibility, making that change. Let's just like do some fishing and make sure I'm not spotting any issues. Wait. Oh, and I missed it. Let's try again. I'm also gonna make sure those particles actually go away. Yeah, so it leaves, and then as soon as the thing happens again. Come on. Yeah, now we go. Oh, and I immediately clicked because I'm stupid. Try that again. Just making sure everything looks normal here. Fish caught. So that's all looking pretty good. What about if I can see the bobber up in like an area like that? Yeah, the sound of the fast unreeling when it's flying. Maybe. We'll see how far we want to go with the sounds and stuff. It would be cool, but I noticed that whenever we're in the minigame, a couple things happen. The line tension just kind of stops because the timer goes again and it says, and it thinks that we're like in biting mode again. So I think the reason for that is it's going through here and resetting this again because it's running this stuff here. So I want to say only make those changes if we're not inside of a mini game, right? Otherwise, I want it to stay in whatever the last state it was, which is biting. So now if the bobber is back up there at the top, let's see what it looks like. It should stay like tensioned on the line, and then the bobber should stay underwater. Yeah. That's much better. Cool. All the small stuff, right? Now that's a problem though, where it still shows the go text, so I need to fix that. But we're getting there. Made it so the bobber and line will stay active when inside of a mini game. Also throw on here, fix an issue where particles from the bobber, the splash and weight text would appear again sometimes when reeling, right? Okay, let's go fix the go text not disappearing. And the reason for that, I believe, is because we don't set sync available back to false. So I'm going to do this. And I think that's going to make the go text go away. But I want to see. Let's try it out. Yeah, so now that text goes away, but the bobber still stays under the water, which is good. And then you catch the fish and it reels it in and stuff. Now, I think sometimes the time that bobber is underwater is just a tiny bit too long. So let's change that to like 3-5 seconds. See what that looks like. Almost perfect, like just a little shorter. Like 0.3 seconds. Let's see what that looks like. That a tiny bit shorter. 0.25. Yeah, that's better. Maybe. Now, I know this is crazy. Maybe even a little bit shorter. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect right there. Okay. Done. What was the other thing that we did? Can't remember. Oh, yeah, we made it so, like, the bobber changes now. So, like, Made it so the bobber will now only plunge down on cast into the water after it's reached the target cast location. Yo, wrist check, posture check, and hydrate. Great. I didn't know you could do edits like that on the fly. Yeah, it's extremely convenient. You can just like change stuff in here in the code and then just save it and then go back in and it just runs the new updated code. A lot of engines do that. Like for example, Unity does it. I'm pretty sure Unreal probably also does it, but gotta lock in on the health, man. I know. I did get those squeeze balls, you know? So they were supposed to get here today. They got delayed, which sucks, but hopefully they will be here tomorrow. And I think those are going to be better for my right hand. This is good for my left because my left doesn't like hurt. My knuckles are okay. So I can do this. I can do this all day, you know? But my right hand, I think whenever I use this thing, it makes it hurt a lot more. So I'll do a little bit. But I got to be careful. Unreal with C++, every time you compile, you gotta spend like 2 hours regenerating your project. That's stupid. This is one of the reasons I like Godot, because it's just so fast and easy. You know, I don't have to do any of that garbage like that. It's just like, bam, I want to test something, make the change, save the game, and then it's there instantly in like 1 second. Yeah. Blueprints work great, but I like coding. Yeah, no, I totally feel you. Yeah, blueprints, I mean, they seem interesting, but any kind of visual programming like that, you get to a phase where it becomes so much of a crutch to do anything. 0 days of not glazing Godot. I know. It's just too good. It's too cracked. I'm sorry. It's just, Godot is just so epic, guys. Can't help myself. Let's go, a couple more. 1. How many reps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. We're done. Open source / free software is one of the few things that make the world significantly better. I agree. And it's thankfully one of those things where there really is no downside, you know? Like, it's pretty crazy. Everybody gets it for free. So right off the bat, that's a benefit to everybody on the planet, right? The second thing too is it's a free like way for people to get like work experience and portfolio entries. You know, they can say like, I worked on this project. Anyone can contribute. There's no like obstacles to helping, you know? And two, also like the Godot Foundation gets money and donations and creates jobs for people. So it's really just a net positive on everything, I feel like. There is a downside. Yeah, I guess that's like the only downside, but you could say the same about almost anything, to be real. If somebody decompiled a game, then, you know, that becomes training data too. So Gamer Traps, welcome in on YouTube. How's it going? I hope to eventually make an open source printer project. That would be awesome. Yes, we can all stop paying $40,000 a gallon for ink. It's so insane. You know, honestly, a printer that we got recently, which is pretty epic. It's the Epson Eco Tank. These are actually really epic. And I didn't expect to see a cool printer from like a big brand. But what's nice about these is you just like fill up the ink. And what's great is that the ink is not like, normally with printer cartridges, it's proprietary and they have like a chip on the cartridge so that if you put in like an off-brand chip into your printer, it like doesn't let you print anything, right? But these, you just pour the ink in. And so you can get ink. Like one of these bottles, like a big bottle of black ink, can last you months and months and months, and it costs like barely anything. And the printers themselves are slightly more expensive, but the fact that you're saving hundreds of dollars on ink is just so nice. So it's actually been great. Yeah, it's more of a nightmare if it does dry out. Yeah, I mean, it's true. There's the potential for it to, but we haven't had that issue at all. And we've had ink in there for months and even years, I think, and it hasn't dried out. So, you know, in my own experience using it so far, it's been really epic. And the print quality is just as good as anything else, and it prints quickly enough. Maybe print speed is slightly slower, but let's be real, guys. How often are you really printing stuff out unless you're like a business? But even then, they have a business model that probably prints faster, so it's fine. But it's actually a really cool printer. Not sponsored, unfortunately, but I recommend it because, man, it's just such an insane moment. Like, you have a printer, and it's not that expensive, the base printer. It's like a couple $100. But then you've got to go buy, like, the toner and cartridges, and they're like $300 each. And it sucks because you realize in your head, like, I might as well just buy a new printer every time I need to replace my ink. Which is just so bad for the environment to have to literally, it's better to buy a new device than the ink. It's just ridiculous. The printer industry is a scam, guys. Because now what we can do is, like, I can just go on Amazon, you know, and I can just go search for, like, black printer ink. And you can just find a little bottle of ink. These are all, like, cartridges, but let me look up, like, EcoTank black ink. And you can just find stuff for so cheap. And, like, even the base ink is extremely cheap. Like, just from Epson, but you can buy it third party, and it is so cheap. So, I mean, like, look at this. You know, you can get 3 of these for $14. Imagine getting that much ink in a cartridge. Do you guys have any idea how freaking expensive that would be? It's insane. That would be literally like $5,000. That's not even an exaggeration. That's just how ungodly expensive printer ink is. Anyways, that's my rant about printer ink. So sorry for my rant, but it's ridiculous. But yeah. So how does the photo printing on it work? Photo printing. What is photo printing? Just like printing stuff? I don't know if it does like... Photo printing's like a different thing, right? Do you just mean like the quality of the printing? They're eco-friendly? Yeah, you don't have to buy all the plastic with it. You just get a bottle. And the bottle is made out of probably PETG, so you can just recycle it. So it's so much better for the environment. They keep whispering to me to pour something else in. No, don't do it. Yeah, what if you use pepper spray? That'd be a bad time. I don't think you'd ruin it. Yeah, the quality is honestly really good. So I really can't... I think it's honestly even better than the quality of the last printer that we had. So it looks pretty good to me. Man, I remember like the last printer we had, it got stuck, like the ink froze and like got all seized up inside of the tubes or whatever, the needle. And then I was trying to like clean it out with like rubbing alcohol and stuff, and I splashed up into my eyes, and I have ink and alcohol in my eyes. It's just a mess. The new one is so much better, guys. Oh my god. I don't know how it hasn't become like widespread to do ink bottles yet. I don't get it. Maybe people just don't know that it's so much better. I think it's just because the entry, like entry cost, right? Because the printers are a little more expensive, like the base machines, compared to like the other ones, because they can charge so little for their machines because they know they're gonna make bank off of their ink cartridges. But yeah, it's insane. All right, let's go do our little rod casting distance calculation thing, and then I think we're good to go. So really all that is right here. Right now it's just a flat 0.4 seconds. But what I can do is check the distance away from the tip to the cast point. So we can say var distance is equal to, right, this position. dot distance to cast point. Then now we can print out what this distance is. We can see like that's 11 pixels, that's 42. That one out there is 142, and then way out there we got 261. So yeah. So we can go ahead and just like run a little conversion on this, so we can say like distance divided by 128 or something, and that would be our speed. And then we can put this in here. So just to confirm, if we had a distance of 256, that should be significantly longer, right? Divided by 128 would be 2 seconds. So that just gives us a constant speed for casting now. So you can see when I cast really close now, it like quickly goes down, right? But then if I cast way out here, you can see that's a little quirky. So we're gonna make it go a little faster than that. But you get the idea. I think it's actually set up to be inverse right now, because I'm thinking if we have... Let's see, because if our distance is 256 divided by 128, that would be 2 seconds. And then if our distance is like a tiny amount, like 16 divided by 128. So we can still have it go faster the further you go, because the thing is when you cast far away, you do cast faster. So it should have a little bit of like a multiplier. So instead of just saying distance divided by 128, we could probably do like, let's go graph this honestly, because I think this is always just a good way to do it. So D for distance divided by 128. Well, let's actually just call distance X. And then let's change our vertical axis. I thought there was like an easy way to do this where I could just like drag it. Let's just set this to like less than 2 and greater than -2, like that. That's a little bit too much. Oh, it's because of our zoom level. So if we're like in this level, now I want it to be 2. There we go. So that's the rate of time it takes depending on our cast distance. So we could like say 128 over X, right? And get like a parabolic curve like this. So down here it becomes really fast. Well, it actually slows down the rate at which it changes. And then as we cast farther, it starts to go... Or no, we want to do the inverse. So instead of saying divided by X, I think we want to say like, what's it? Squared by X? We want to basically do 1 over X, like, no. Wait. 1 over X, right? And then, I'm trying to think how this would work. Let me read chat, hold on. Go ahead and your boss cry. You can complete 2-week notice, yeah. That story's like what happens in infomercials when they're like trying to sell you a new kitchen machine. It's black and white and someone like fumbling around a kitchen. Yeah. It's so true. Pepper spray in the printer. No. Okay, I think we need a logarithmic curve here. Right, because I want it to basically flatten out that the distance you go in terms of the time it takes to cast. We could also just set a maximum limit on the time, which is another possibility. But I think log will basically do what I want here. And then I don't know how we can like change the strength of the log. It looks like just dividing the number can kind of change that. Though it starts to go into negative times, which is very problematic, obviously. So I don't know if that's going to work. We can change the base of the log, right? And that might kind of do what I want. Because the higher the base I set, basically like the lower the cap. But if I set a really large, a small base, it's more of a smooth curve, I think. I don't know. I'm not a math guy. Okay, but honestly, let's just try setting a maximum time on this really quick though, like 1 second. Because that might be all we actually really need if I'm being real. Instead of doing some fancy formula for it, so. Like, why is that so slow? Oh, not maximum, I meant minimum. So now a short cast just goes like instantly, and then a long cast. Still a bit too slow, so let's set that to smaller, like maybe 0.6 seconds. So like that feels pretty decent for a long cast, you know? Then a medium cast. And I think I might want to add a new sound here. See, because now the short casts go, which is good. And then these long ones take a second longer to cast, so it just feels better. Okay, so the next thing that I think would be nice here is whenever you're casting a fishing rod, there's like the click of your reel open and like the line coming out, you know? I don't know if that's an easy sound that we could find online. Reel. Fishing reel. Like this. Not really like that. That's like... That's when you're winding in. Yeah, these are all winding. It does just sound when you cast a rod, just kind of like line, you know. But a lot of the times you do kind of hear like the sound of the reel rotating as it releases more string. So I mean, this is basically the sound. I know that sound. We need to find something like that. Is it called a running whenever it does that? Not really. I don't know if we're gonna find it. Because that's reeling in, it's not the right sound. No. No. Let's go look at a video. Fishing rod cast. It's gonna be tutorials on how to do it. Maybe we can just look up, like, fishing cast and find one in here. Like, that one's fine. I want, like, the initial sound of the cast and then, like, a sustained sound that we play until the bobber hits the water. Right? So I don't know how I would explain it. Unfortunately, all of these are extremely noisy in the background. So I don't know if we're going to find exactly what I want here. We might have to generate the sound or get a sound that's adjacent to it that sounds good. Might have just turned the ribbon cable. Yikes. Thank you for the cheese time. Yeah, I need to go to bed and ponder. Very sorry to hear that. I've torn so many stupid ribbon cables. They suck so bad. But yeah. Take some rest. Hopefully it's not actually torn. Sometimes if it looks like it's torn, it could just be like a little bit of the like insulation and not actually the copper contact in the middle. So it might still be okay, but I am very sorry to hear that. But yeah. Thanks for coming in, though. I appreciate it. Yeah, run games are awful in the 3DS XL's demonic, forcing a jam that thing through tiny hole. Yeah. No, I feel it. Don't worry. Well, I apologize that it happened. Let's get rid of that now. Tag spinning. That's just everything that spins now. It's getting a little cheesy in here. Yeah. All right. Good night, Junkbox. Have a good night. See, like, this one is just water and people talking. This one's not like terrible, but see, that's not a real sound. Like, if you've actually gone fishing in real life, there's two sounds. So when you first cast out, it's pretty quiet. I mean, there's a sound of like your rod whipping. It goes like whoosh, and then it goes because the line is like coming out, and you hear like the line going across the hooks, the loops or whatever. The eyelets, I think is what they call them or something. And then it lands, you hear the click when your reel, it has like a little bar that goes back down and locks the line into the mechanism. And then as you're reeling in, that's when you hear like that sound of the tension. I have to yoink one from a YouTube video. Yeah, it's hard because I really don't want any like background sound and stuff because that's gonna kind of ruin it. There might be something in here. I mean, this one isn't terrible, like... I just need to find the sound of, like, a line. Like, string. And I bet we could find something like that, you know? Because those are all reeling in. Various fishing rod sounds. It's all reeling in. There's a fishing rod swoop. But yeah, the actual casting, honestly, is very quiet. So that's why it's like, it's hard to make that sound good. Like, it'd be something like that right there. And that sound is almost exactly what I need, but the problem is it's just got a lot of background noise in there. You can hear like the sound of like some water in the background, so it just doesn't work. I just need like the sound of like some like rope or string, and I can modify it until it sounds like what I want. Let's just look like, not string, like rope. Rope. Moving or something. What would you call it? Rope swishing. That's like a lasso. It's like rope scraping. String. That's gonna be all those. That a fishing pole, I'd go outside with my Rode mic and help you. Yeah. I wish I had a better microphone for recording my own sound effects. I just don't right now. Because it would be really nice to be able to... I have a million different fishing rods. I could just whip it and cast it and record the sound. It would be perfect, you know? Thank you for the spin, Ryan. How do I describe that sound? It's like fabric moving. Like, but like a continuous fabric rustle. Like, imagine you had like a rope and you're dragging the rope at a consistent rate across the ground. Does that make any sense? Rope moving. That's that one again. Rope slipping. I guess like a zip line actually would probably be the right sound. And then we can like pitch it up so it sounds smaller, you know? I can't hear anything. Let me quiet this game down and also toggle the music for a second. That sound is way too quiet. All right, let's go Creative Commons 0. Not a zipper. A zip line. There's no zip line sounds. Really? No. Why is there no sounds for a zip line? That's got to be like a really common thing. Ugh. There's a zipper. Zip line. There's a tag for zip line. I'm actually really surprised that there's not zip line sounds, you know? Well, I have one that I use in Starground that I could use, so it's fine. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't even remember like what I did to make that sound. But it's this sound. Right, like if we take that sound and pitch it up, I feel like that would be basically perfect. So let's try it out. I just want there to be a tiny little bit of a sound so that the player knows that like they're actively in the middle of the casting process, right? That's why. Again, it probably seems crazy that I'm spending this much time on stuff like this, but I know it will really matter. Okay, so that's extremely loud. But it needs to be even higher pitched. I don't know if I actually can. But kind of like that, if I could make it higher pitched. I mean, I guess what I could do actually is just, I don't know if they have an EQ in here. Oh, there is, okay. Okay, preview. I could just cut out all the low end stuff, right? Keep like anything above like, you know, like that. We could kind of have it be like a slope into the silence. Like that's kind of like the perfect sound, I think. Maybe keep some of the low end. Well, get rid of like the super low frequency stuff. I don't need 20 hertz in the sound, right? And also the ultra high frequency stuff can probably get a little cut off. Maybe have this ramp up a little tighter. Yeah, like that. I think that'll work. And we can further pitch it up inside of Godot also. Let's try it. We're going to call this line casting or something. And let's make sure that it does actually repeat and everything. Let's go into the import tab. We want to say normalize. So now it sounds like, oops, not normalize. Loop mode, I meant forward. The import. It's close enough. It's going to be a pretty quiet sound. It's a minor thing. But now we can go ahead and just add another one in here. Call this line casting. And there's only 2 spots we need to put this. So we need to start line casting as soon as our mouse is released, right? Right here. And that's where we start the initial cast sound. So line casting dot play. And then after the casting has stopped and the bobber splashes, right? We say right here is bobber, or is water, I mean. Or anywhere in here. This is just when it stops. Then I want to say line casting dot stop. All right. Let's see how this sounds. So let's snooze that ad. I know we spent a long time on just that one little sound, but it's really important, I think. I want to make the fishing feel really epic and cool. I mean, you're going to be doing this stuff constantly, you know, hundreds and hundreds of times when you play this game. So even a tiny upgrade like that, I think, makes for a really big improvement. Kind of like that now. So it goes, it like keeps making that sound until the bobber actually hits the water now. And I'll probably tweak that a little bit more. We could try pitching it up to see what it sounds like. I think I like it pitched up. Yeah, it's pretty good. And we could have it so that when you also reel your line back in, instead of it like, you know, there's some cool stuff that we could do there too. Right now, when you reel the bobber back in, it kind of just goes in a straight line from where you casted back to the tip of your rod. That's not really how reeling a fishing rod in works, right? Because as you reel in, the bobber is going to stay in the water until it's close to you, and then it goes up to your fishing rod. So we could potentially like have this bobber tween back to a certain position next to the player, and then rise up. And then we could also throw in like some other sounds and stuff for that too. So there's a lot of things we could potentially do there. I might hold off on that stuff just for a minute because it is a slippery slope. I could spend days on this if I really wanted to. So I'll add that into later. But I'll say move bobber along water till it's at the player, then move up to the rod. Also reeling sound. So that's for later. But I think this is a lot better now for the casting. The bobber like travels better. You know, it hits the surface of the water and then drops down. Casting farther away takes longer, and casting closer is faster now, which is good. So it just feels more like the physics are more real, which is kind of important to me. Maybe in some of these areas it feels a little bit, like right around this zone when you cast, maybe it feels a little slow. And I think it's because it's the distance away from the tip of the rod, so like casting to that point is actually the same distance. So maybe instead of checking the distance from the tip of the rod, I want to check the distance from the player instead. And that might feel a little bit more accurate because we are dealing with like the depth perspective stuff here. Where like this distance is the same distance away as, you know, over here, but just because this is below, like the top down, this is the same, like the game thinks it's farther away, but perspective wise, it's the same distance, right? But that's definitely a bit better now. We could even divide this by a larger value if we wanted it to just generally be faster, like that. So now these are a little bit faster. And then casting far away should be the same speed still. But it kind of fixes like the in-between zones where it's a little slow. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see what else we can check off really quick. I don't know if I'm going to finish it on stream right now, but we can try. So, hide fish button for decorating. I do want to work on that. Some kind of little, like, indicator for when a region has a pot placed down. Because I notice sometimes it's a little bit annoying. You kind of forget what places you've actually placed a crab pot. You know what I mean? If I open up the game, I'll show you guys sort of what I mean. Because it's like, all right, I have no idea which places in here currently has a crab pot placed down, right? It's like, is it this place? I don't know. Is there? There's no way for me to tell unless I spend the money to travel there and actually look. Which I feel like is a little unfair. Like, if this is real life and you placed down a crab pot, like, you'd write down the location of where your crab pot was. You wouldn't just, like, keep it in your head. So maybe just a little tiny icon, you know, that's just kind of flashes with a crab pot. I just want it to be an indicator that there is a crab pot there. And that's literally all I want. Like, we could just add an icon maybe below this icon of a crab pot, just so it's clear which ones have a crab pot placed down. So let's go into regions panel. So on top of this region icon, I can add another texture rect. Get the pot icon right here. And I can just place it somewhere. I might actually make a new version of this pot icon that's half size, just so it's not so distracting. Because I don't want it to imply to the player that there's like something really important there that they need to go do or something. I just want them to know like, oh yeah, there's just an image of a crab pot, so it must mean that I have one placed down there. And now for actually seeing like whether the crab pot is full or not, that is still something that I want people to actually have to travel to go see. Because I think that makes sense, where it's like you can't just wirelessly know how full your crab pots are unless you have like some fancy sensors or some wireless, you know, receiver that reads the level of your crab pots. Like, that's just not a thing. So that to me feels fine. But in terms of just knowing where they are, that's kind of, yeah. And it is always really hard to draw this at such a tiny scale. Like, I hope people actually understand that this is a crab pot, you know what I mean? I think I'll get rid of the little bobber thing that I had over here, because you just don't really need to see it for this. Alright, so we just do something like this. You can fill this whole area in with like the gray stuff. Go down a little deeper. Just kind of fill this all in. Then all this stuff can get fixed up. All right, something kind of like this. I guess here it'd probably be more like, just thinking how this would look, right? It's tricky because I kind of need all this, I think, to go inset by one. But then it looks really weird if I do, so it's a complicated perspective. I can extend it all out. But does that look strange? Sort of. But that looks pretty weird. Like I need to bring all of this out, sort of like that. That's better. So these will be bright just because they're at the top. Rebirth upgrade. How many crab pots are full? Yeah, I would like to do that. Let's go add it in. For now, I'll just put it in here and I'll organize it later. Extension to show current level of crab pots, you know. That'd be nice. Yeah, I think this will work as an icon. It's fine. God, I need to play Plants vs. Zombies. I have the remake one installed. I just haven't played it yet. I know that it's has its problems and all, but I still do want to try it at least. Let's keep this dark just because otherwise it's gonna be hard to see. Is that bread? No, it's a crab pot. I think it makes sense when you have the context of unlocking it and stuff in the game. So it's probably fine. But we'll gauge that. I mean, If people think that it's too confusing what this icon's supposed to represent, then we can change it. But we'll try it out for now. All right, so let's go back in here. Let's change this back into the small pot icon. Boom. And then now this should be half the size of the other one, so what is going on here? Why is it? Oh, there we go. So that's at size 16? Doesn't seem right. How big is this icon? Oh, well, that's at 48, so this should be a little bit larger. I think like 24 would be a proper size for this. Yeah. And then now for the position on this, I think we'll do an anchor and do center bottom. Kind of something like that. Either center bottom or we do just like bottom left. Where is it? Bottom left. Just to show that there is a crab pot there. That's like literally the only thing it's supposed to do. So I think that's good enough. It's just a tiny little indicator for that. So Mini David, Dev Dave, welcome in. How's it going? And then I'm just going to say crab pot dot visible is equal to global dot pot data dot. I need to check. I think it's just dot get active false. And also global.get research level of li.research.pots is greater than 0. Should be everything. Let's go try it out. Game of the Year or replanted? Sorry, yeah. It is replanted. Game of the Year version is good, but it is pretty old now. So I know a lot of people have like scaling issues and stuff with it just because it's on like on new monitors and stuff. It's problematic. Okay, so that did not do it there. I think it might be because LI Research POTS is maybe not a real research. Should be though. Dot visible is equal to that. Let's search for wherever I use the keyword active. Here, let's search for match case. Let's just search for pot data. So yeah, pot data. Oh, I have to get it at a specific region ID. So at the region ID, duh. Otherwise, it's not going to know which region it's talking about. There we go. So now it just has that little icon to show you like, hey, there's a crab pot over here. So I think that works really well. It's just a very minor thing. Doesn't have to be crazy or complicated. Just sort of like, you know, hey, there's a crab pot here. So now I need to figure out how to format this icon better. I want it to say, I guess not keep size. We want to do fit height and set this to shrink center. There we go. That's what I want. Do you think making a mobile game is worth it? I think it really depends. I mean, if you're making a mobile game, I would honestly just say you might as well also release on Steam because you have the game already. And Steam can make a lot of money. There are people that do make a lot of money with mobile games. So it's definitely possible for sure. But I think it requires a particular skill set to make a lot of money. You've got to implement stuff like in-app purchases and advertisements and like the reason I haven't really done mobile stuff yet is just because I don't like the concept of stuff like that. I probably will make Lured In mobile eventually, but I don't know if it's really going to make me a bunch of money. So it is hard to say if it's worth it. I would say it's worth it if you already have a game and you're porting it to mobile. Otherwise, it's harder. Yeah, it's harder to say if it's just worth just doing the mobile part, right? I'm not sure. It's pros and cons. I think it just depends kind of what your goals are, probably. If you want to make money, there's probably... Steam probably would be more easily profitable. But again, you can just do both too, right? So it's like one of those things where it's... I don't know. Yeah, I just don't have enough experience to give you a reliable answer, unfortunately. Because I haven't really done mobile stuff before, right? So it's kind of like, to me, I'm not 100% sure if it is or not. But probably. I guess my final answer, what I would say, definitely worth it if you're already making a game. Probably not worth it if you're only doing mobile development. What is this? A type of null instance. Oh, right. It's underneath a control node now. Oopsies. Let me also make sure that all these icons and stuff are not visible, like, or not clickable. Say mouse ignore on both those. Yeah, PC. I've got decent hardware. It is getting older, but I've got a 3900 XT for my CPU, 64 gigs of DDR4, bunch of NVMEs and HDDs, and a 3080 Ti for the card. I got most of my stuff while it was cheap. Not the graphics card. Graphics card is kind of expensive. But interesting. I appreciate the tip. Yeah, no worries. Sorry I couldn't give you a better answer. But it's just, yeah. I'm about to kind of dive into that world of mobile stuff with Lured In, so it'll definitely be interesting to see what goes on there. So I just have no idea. All right, so this is nice. It's just a tiny little indicator to like say to the player, hey, there is a crab pot here. So that's literally all we need. Oh, let's add this for later. So where was that? It's like show indicator for which place I have a pot put down. Boom. Let's go say added an indicator. Which regions have a pot placed? What else have we done? Did all the new fishing mechanics, fix the particles, all the stuff. Oh yeah, also added a casting sound. Also we changed like the speed, so made it so casting timing is better now. Longer casts will take longer, and casting nearby will be significantly faster. Northern Mobile would be awesome. I do think so. It would be pretty cool. It's definitely got that kind of mobile game core, right? I mean, obviously it's an incremental game, so that's like a big thing right off the bat. But yeah, just the whole, like, it being an idle game, really all the genres mesh well with mobile. And a lot of the other stuff too, like it's a 2D game, which makes it much easier to put onto mobile. It runs really fast. Of course, I'm on like pretty good hardware, but I don't see why it would be particularly slow on mobile. There's probably even more optimizations I could make if I actually wanted to make mobile run better. Right now, it's just not a huge like priority because it runs fine, but if I do port to mobile and stuff and I start seeing performance issues, I can totally go through and fix it. But yeah, I think it's probably gonna happen. I'll probably be doing mobile. I think it would be nice. Because yeah, there's so much slop on the App Store. I really do get tired of all that, so just having a nice game that doesn't have in-app purchases or ads or anything like that would be kind of refreshing. So older gamer here, was the appeal of idle games? Yeah, I've not really grasped why people enjoy it. I think it's just because it kind of like hacks into your brain a little bit, and it rewards you. It makes you feel good about yourself, because it's like normally in a game when you first boot it up, it's like mentally you haven't achieved anything yet. Like to get your dopamine hit and start feeling good about playing a game, you have to work for it. And like that is a good thing. Games should always feel that way. But I think to some people, what they like about idle games is the fact that like they get the dopamine hit of making progress and succeeding the second they open the game, right? Because you're making progress offline. And I think a lot of games, it's important to like keep the dynamic between the two sides of it, running smoothly. Because I've seen a lot of idle games that just rely way too much on the offline stuff. And if it's just pure offline and you don't actually ever play the game, then I think you have a major problem there. So to me, it's really important to have a balance of the two. Like, you want going offline to feel worthwhile, but I don't want it to desaturate the value of playing online. So I've been implementing a lot of things to kind of like reward the player for actively playing, but not necessarily punish you for keeping it closed. So like you can feed your fish for like a little temporary active income boost, right? And this is only active, like it's only for a couple minutes. So it's really only effective while you're online and like maintaining your tanks and stuff. Also the whole mechanic with cleaning the algae off, that's like another online thing. And the one I added recently too is the donations. So like if you're online and you're actively playing and doing things, you get rewarded. But you still also get rewarded for your offline income too, so. But yeah, that's at least my guess as to why it's most people enjoy it. Sometimes I like idle stuff. It can be fun. It's a very low, it doesn't ask much out of you. A lot of games, it's like if you want to have fun and make progress, it requires hours of your time. And I think to a lot of people, it's not easy to spend that much time playing games. Especially, I mean, I feel that all the time. I'm so busy making them, I don't really have all this free time to just play these games for hours and hours on end, right? So I think idle games kind of fill that niche for a lot of people of like being able to enjoy gaming without actually having to sink so much of your life into it. So it's more of a serotonin boost. Yeah, I don't know the actual specific chemicals behind it, but the feel-good chemicals, All games are fun until you realize you sunk a couple hundred hours into watching colors on a screen. Wait, that's true, yeah. Yeah, it's not for everybody, I think it requires so thank you for the follow. It requires a particular kind of view of gaming and stuff, right? I mean, you could say the same about anything if you really boil it down. Like, what? I spent a couple hours playing Counter-Strike. Like, I don't gain anything from that. Like, gaming doesn't really give you anything. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, if I'm being real. And some people will argue that it improves your hand-eye coordination. Yeah, to a certain extent, sure. But, I don't think it matters. Gaming, honestly, at its core, is just to relax and enjoy yourself for a minute. Just have some fun. It doesn't always have to be like something that you're gaining something out of. You can just enjoy it for what it is, right? I think people, I don't know, forget about that sometimes and think it has to be like a productive thing. It's okay to just like do stuff for fun. It doesn't always have to be worthwhile, because being worthwhile is just in the eye of the beholder. It doesn't really actually mean anything. But yeah. Anyways, I love when audio doubles. Yeah, we're gonna have to raid out here now. Let's go find somebody to raid. Captain Krabs is doing stuff, so let's go raid in there. It's like why like Retro Rewind didn't need to invest much fun for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one where you run like the video store, right? Yeah, that one really blew up quickly. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I've always enjoyed stuff like that, little like store shop simulator games. And I think Lured In has a lot of that energy. It really is kind of a shop management game, so for sure it kind of ties into that genre a lot. I think all incremental games to a certain extent do. So going, nah, it's fine. It's spot on how I feel. I see people play CS. I can see how it'd be fun, but really I do not get anything out of that. Yeah. Although the other thing that ruins games like that is the fact that some people play them all day, every day, and you can never be remotely as good as them. Yeah. Like, that's why I don't really like competitive games a lot. I'm just not very competitive by nature. Like, it's cool that people succeed, but like, I don't want to like, there's so much stress involved with a game like that. You constantly feel bad about yourself for being bad at the game, and it's frustrating sometimes. It's like, a lot of the times I just prefer to play like single player stuff and just low cortisol games, you know? It's a net positive instead of those moments where you actively dislike the time that you're spending. But yeah, I do want to preface this. I do actually enjoy Counter-Strike. It's not that most of the time it is a net positive, but you know, every now and then sometimes it's not fun. Some people just don't like the stress with stuff like that and just don't want to bother spending the time to actually get good at games like that. That's fine. That's why we have different genres and different games, because everybody has different preferences and likes different stuff, and I think that's a good thing. So people get to enjoy the stuff that they like and cannot play the stuff they don't like. Right? That's the whole point of it all. That sort of deeper thinking helps people get out of decision paralysis in life by helping them not think about life for a bit. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, that's how fast you can lock on target and how well you can blind. Yeah. So another great stream. Yeah, I appreciate it. Not live tomorrow. We'll be live again on Wednesday at 3:30 MDT. Let's go start this raid on crabs. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate it. We've got a whole bunch of little things done today. That's exactly what I wanted to do. It's just like wrap up a lot of little tiny bugs and changes and just make everything feel better. So I would say that we achieved our goal. But yeah, demo's coming up. Actually, tomorrow the demo will be posted on itch. Steam demo is going to come on the 18th. I just want to have a little bit more time for a new update for that. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Yeah, feel free to wishlist Lured In on Steam. Play the free play test if anyone wants to. Grab Starground. And yeah, I'll see you gamers on Wednesday. We're gonna go raid Captain Krabs. He's doing character costumes right now, so yeah. Oh yeah, and also join the Discord if you want. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming in. I really appreciate it. I'll see all of you next time. Bye everybody. Bye-bye.